In reflecting on my upcoming wedding, I couldn't shake the weight of years of hurt and exclusion from my siblings' weddings. Each time one of them tied the knot, I found myself on the outside looking in, barred from sharing in those pivotal moments of their lives. It started when I was just a child, barely old enough to comprehend the significance of weddings. My oldest sibling opted for a child-free ceremony, setting a precedent that my other siblings followed suit. Despite my youth, I couldn't help but feel a pang of disappointment at being left out. As the years passed and I grew older, the sting of exclusion only deepened. When my sister decided on a child-free wedding with a strict cutoff age of 16, I pleaded for an exception, desperate to be included in her special day. But my plea fell on deaf ears, and I was shut out once again. The unfairness of it all gnawed at me, leaving me feeling rejected and overlooked. By the time my brother announced his engagement when I was 17, I had grown resigned to the idea that I wouldn't receive an invitation. I didn't bother to ask or plead for inclusion. Instead, I distanced myself emotionally, sending a perfunctory congratulatory message and retreating to the solace of my room. My parents were dismayed by my apparent lack of enthusiasm, but they couldn't understand the depth of my disillusionment. Now, as I embark on planning my own wedding, I find myself grappling with conflicting emotions. On one hand, I'm filled with excitement and anticipation for this new chapter in my life. Yet, on the other hand, I can't shake the bitterness that lingers from years of feeling excluded by my own family. When it came time to send out invitations, I made the difficult decision not to extend them to my siblings. Their reaction was swift and confrontational. They stormed into my home, demanding answers for their exclusion. In that moment, I felt a surge of righteous indignation. How could they expect an invitation when they had repeatedly shut me out of their own weddings? I calmly explained my decision, articulating the hurt and disappointment that had accumulated over the years. In the end, my choice was not one of spite or vengeance, but of self-preservation. I couldn't bear the thought of opening myself up to further rejection and disappointment. As I prepare to walk down the aisle, I am filled with a sense of peace, knowing that I am taking control of my own happiness and forging a path that is true to myself. It was profoundly hurtful and disappointing for me to have missed out on witnessing the weddings of each of my siblings throughout the years. The sting of exclusion, especially during such significant family milestones, left a lasting impression on me. Despite my longing to be a part of their special days, I was repeatedly denied that opportunity. Each time, I was met with various excuses, from child-free policies to concerns about alcohol at the events. However, these explanations felt hollow and insufficient, particularly because all I truly desired was to share in the joy of their unions and celebrate their love alongside them. Now, as I prepare for my own wedding, I find myself grappling with conflicting emotions. On one hand, I am filled with excitement and anticipation for the upcoming festivities. On the other hand, I am confronted with the painful memories of being excluded from similar celebrations in the past. It has forced me to confront the deeper issues of resentment and hurt that have simmered beneath the surface for years. When I made the decision not to invite my siblings to my wedding, it wasn't out of spite or a desire for revenge. Rather, it was a matter of reclaiming my own agency and setting boundaries to protect my emotional well-being. After years of feeling overlooked and marginalized within my own family, I felt it was necessary to assert my own autonomy and prioritize my own happiness. Of course, my decision was met with resistance and pushback from my parents and siblings. They couldn't understand why I would choose to exclude them from such an important event, especially when they had always envisioned us coming together as a family to celebrate these milestones. But what they failed to realize was that their actions had consequences, and their repeated exclusions had left a deep emotional wound that couldn't be easily overlooked or brushed aside. In the end, I stand by my decision, knowing that it was made with careful consideration and self-preservation in mind. While it may have caused tension within my family, I believe it was a necessary step in asserting my own worth and reclaiming my sense of dignity and self-respect. And as I look forward to my wedding day, I do so with a renewed sense of confidence and empowerment, knowing that I am finally taking control of my own narrative and prioritizing my own emotional well-being above all else. I'm truly sorry for the pain and emotional turmoil you've experienced as a result of your family's actions. It's heartbreaking to hear about the exclusion and betrayal you've endured, particularly during moments as significant as weddings. The realization that your siblings and parents have treated you in such a hurtful manner must be incredibly difficult to process, especially given the closeness and bond that is typically expected within a family. Discovering that you were actually raised by your uncle and not directly related to your siblings adds a complex layer to your family dynamic. Learning that your siblings distanced themselves from you and even harbored feelings of resentment at times is deeply troubling and speaks to deeper issues within your family unit. It's clear that there are unresolved tensions and hurt feelings that have contributed to the strained relationships and hurtful behavior. Your decision to elope and have a small, intimate ceremony with close friends is a testament to your strength and resilience. Despite the challenges and disappointments you've faced, you're choosing to prioritize your own happiness and create a meaningful celebration of your love. It's admirable that you're staying true to yourself and your partner amidst the familial turmoil. It's disheartening that your parents couldn't understand or respect your decision to elope. Your wedding day should be a reflection of your love and commitment, and it's unfortunate that they couldn't support you in that. However, it's essential to remember that your happiness and well-being should always come first, regardless of others' expectations or desires for a grand celebration. Given the ongoing family dynamics and revelations, it may be necessary for you to reassess your relationship with your family and establish boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. Surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift and support you is crucial, particularly during moments of significant life events. In conclusion, you deserve to be surrounded by love, understanding, and respect. Congratulations on your marriage, and may your future be filled with joy, love, and fulfillment. Remember that you are worthy of happiness and deserve to live a life that brings you peace and contentment, regardless of the challenges you may face within your family. I find myself grappling with a moral dilemma that seems to be tearing at the fabric of my familial relationships, and I'm seeking guidance on whether my stance is justified or if I'm overstepping boundaries. The crux of the matter lies in the financial responsibilities surrounding my parents' recently paid-off home, which has unearthed simmering tensions and raised questions about fairness and equity within our family dynamic. To provide context, both of my parents are now at an age where retirement is not just an option but an imminent reality. They've worked hard all their lives, diligently saving and investing to secure their future and provide stability for their children. My brother, who is 43 years old, continues to reside in the family home, sharing the space with his children. Despite being gainfully employed with a full-time job, he pays what seems to be a fraction of the market rent for a property of similar size in our area. Now, here's where things start to get murky. My parents, in their desire to retire comfortably and enjoy the fruits of their labor, have turned to my sister and me for financial assistance in covering the property taxes on the house. They've outlined a plan where I would receive a 25% ownership stake in the home, with my sister holding the remaining 25% after their passing. On the surface, this seems like a fair arrangement, until you dig deeper into the details. What strikes me as fundamentally unjust is the expectation that my sister and I should bear the burden of these taxes while my brother, who continues to reside in the home rent-free or at a significantly reduced rate, contributes minimally to its upkeep. I understand the need for my parents to secure their retirement, but it feels like a betrayal of trust and fairness to saddle me and my sister with this responsibility while allowing my brother to benefit from our financial support. Moreover, my mother's defense of my brother's situation, citing his assistance with errands and tasks around the house, only adds insult to injury. It feels like a slap in the face to be asked to shoulder this financial burden while my brother's contributions are deemed sufficient justification for his privileged position. In essence, I find myself torn between my desire to support my parents in their retirement years and my conviction that fairness and equity should prevail within our family. Am I wrong to challenge this arrangement? Should I acquiesce to my parents' wishes and shoulder the burden of these taxes? Or is it time to stand up for what I believe is right, even if it means disrupting the delicate balance of our family dynamic? In delving deeper into the intricate family dynamics you've presented, it's essential to unpack the underlying factors contributing to the complexities you're grappling with. Your narrative encapsulates a multifaceted tale of familial obligations, financial entanglements, and emotional burdens that intersect in a web of tension and discord. At the heart of your story lies a fundamental imbalance in how familial responsibilities are distributed and perceived. From your portrayal, it's evident that you've assumed a disproportionate share of the burden both financially and emotionally in supporting your brother. The sacrifices you've made, such as tapping into your retirement savings and enduring financial strain, underscore the depth of your commitment to family. However, this commitment has come at a considerable cost to your own well-being and that of your immediate family. The unequal treatment you've experienced compared to your brother is starkly apparent, particularly in the context of your parents' expectations and favoritism. Despite your brother's adult status and employment, he appears to benefit from preferential treatment and financial leniency, while you bear the brunt of financial responsibilities. This asymmetry not only exacerbates feelings of resentment and injustice but also erodes trust and harmony within the family unit. Moreover, the revelation of your partial ownership of the property and the expectation that you contribute to its taxes further complicates the narrative. While ownership implies certain rights and responsibilities, the imposition of financial obligations without equitable consideration undermines the integrity of the familial bond. It raises questions about fairness, transparency, and the distribution of assets within the family, adding another layer of complexity to an already fraught situation. The comments from others reflect a shared sense of disbelief and indignation at the unfairness of your predicament. They echo sentiments of solidarity and support, recognizing the validity of your grievances and advocating for your autonomy and well-being. The consensus seems to be that your decision to assert your boundaries and withhold financial support is both justified and necessary to safeguard your own interests and those of your immediate family. In navigating this challenging terrain, it's imperative to prioritize self-care and advocate for your own needs, even in the face of resistance or criticism from family members. Setting clear boundaries, communicating assertively, and seeking external support, whether from friends, counselors, or legal advisors, can help empower you to navigate this complex family dynamic with resilience and integrity. Ultimately, your narrative serves as a poignant reminder of the intricate interplay between familial obligations, financial dependencies, and emotional resilience. By confronting these challenges head-on and asserting your boundaries, you pave the way for greater self-empowerment and emotional well-being, laying the foundation for a more equitable and harmonious family dynamic in the future. Your narrative unfurls against a backdrop of familial strife and legal entanglements, weaving a complex tapestry of emotions, choices, and consequences that reverberate throughout your family dynamic. At its core lies a profound clash between loyalty to kin and the imperative of personal integrity. As you navigate the fallout of your brother's repeated encounters with the law and the far-reaching ripples they cast upon your own life, the scene you vividly paint is fraught with tension and apprehension. A sudden, urgent knock on the door, the imposing figure of a man clad in a bulletproof vest, and the weighty implications of a $25,000 bail bond looming large. In that pivotal moment, you find yourself thrust into the heart of your brother's legal quagmire, compelled to make a snap decision with consequences that could reverberate far beyond the confines of your dining room. Your choice to disclose your brother's whereabouts to the bail bondsman, however reluctantly, sets off a chain reaction of events culminating in his apprehension and the subsequent revocation of his bail. In the aftermath of your decision, you find yourself ensnared in a tempest of accusations and recriminations from your family, who perceive your actions as a betrayal of the most sacred bonds of kinship. They fail to grasp the gravity of the situation or acknowledge the precarious position in which your brother's deception has placed you. Instead, they castigate you for what they see as a callous act of treachery, oblivious to the fact that your brother's actions have not only imperiled your own well-being but also jeopardized your legal standing. The dynamics within your family, as you so eloquently elucidate, are fraught with dysfunction and enabling behavior. Your brother, cast in the role of the favored child, has long been shielded from the consequences of his actions by a mother who has turned a blind eye to his transgressions. This pattern of behavior, ingrained since childhood, has fostered a sense of entitlement and impunity in your brother, who continues to flout the law without facing the full weight of accountability. Your refusal to enable your brother's behavior and shoulder the burden of his actions is a courageous assertion of personal agency and moral rectitude. It signifies a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and hold individuals accountable for their choices, regardless of familial ties or emotional attachments. While your family may vilify you for your decision, it stands as a testament to your strength of character and unwavering commitment to justice and integrity. As you grapple with the fallout of your actions, it is imperative to prioritize your own well-being and safety above all else. Seek solace and support from trusted confidants who can offer guidance and perspective during this tumultuous period. Remember that standing up for what is right often entails facing resistance and backlash, but it also serves as a beacon of hope for a future untainted by the cycle of dysfunction and enabling that has plagued your family for far too long.